Top 5 Creepy Stories of Demonic Possession. Science has long explained the human predilection for horror stories. Biology. The emotion of fear stimulates the production of endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, which is why we feel curiously good despite getting the bejesus scared out of us. What they haven't explained is why tales of demonic possession seem to have royalty status. Perhaps it's the fact that everyone is a candidate for possession, as odd as that sounds. Which automatically ups the fear factor, and, therefore, the rush of the narcissistic hormones. Here are the 5 best demonic possession stories ever told in the history of this dark, harrowing phenomenon. Number 5. Anneliese Michel. The chilling exorcism of Anneliese Michel. Born to a devout Catholic family in Bavaria, West Germany, Anneliese Michel was as religious as any young woman could be. Anneliese had a history of mental illness, but once her symptoms wriggled out of control despite strict medication, she knew she could only be possessed. Her first experience was at the age of 16, when she completely blacked out at school and walked around in a seeming trance. When she developed hallucinations and delusions, she decided to seek the help of the Catholic Church. Despite repeated rejections from the bishop, Michel finally received an exorcism in 1975 through local priests Ernst Alt and Arnold Renz. But by this time, her condition had plunged into the unthinkable. She would strip herself naked, perform around 400 squats every day, and even bark like a dog for days. After 11 months, she died of malnutrition and dehydration. Her 2 exorcists were charged and sentenced to 6 months in jail for negligent homicide for failing to call a medical doctor. Her parents were also charged but spared from punishment, the judge ruling that they had suffered enough. Number 4. Clarita Villanueva. Clarita Villanueva ventured into the Philippine capital of Manila in search of her birth father and a job. That she would end up in jail for vagrancy was the farthest from her mind, but nothing prepared her for what came next, 2 demons biting into her skin. When experts declared her mentally sound, the more the public was convinced she was possessed. The woman's story made the rounds worldwide until it caught the attention of an American pastor named Lester Sumrall, who instantly called himself to the mission and flew to Manila to help. On May 19, 1953, Sumrall met Villanueva for the first time in a meeting marked by blasphemous statements from the Bacolod native. When Manila Mayor Arsenio Lacson heard about the woman, he asked to see her alone to witness the bite marks himself. He wasn't disappointed. According to an account, Villanueva's exorcism continued for 3 days before she was completely delivered from her demons, a total of 15. Finally free, she returned to her province, married a farmer, and had kids. Number 3. Elizabeth Knapp. The terrifying demonic possession of 16-year-old Elizabeth Knapp. Elizabeth Knapp was a 16-year-old servant at the household of Samuel Willard, a prominent reverend in the Church of Groton, Massachusetts, during the 1670s. What made Knapp's possession unique from the others was Willard's scientific approach, a point of issue for the community, given the pastor's passionate teachings on damnation and divine obedience. From October 30, 1671, until January 12, 1672, Willard documented Knapp's deterioration, which had most of the characteristics found in other demonic possessions: fits, hallucinations, body contortions, animal sounds, a deep voice, meeting with the devil, and so on. On November 28, Knapp had a fit that lasted for 48 hours, after which she remained in catatonia until December 8. She confessed to being assaulted by the devil, and having no recourse but to make a pact with him. At this time, Willard said the devil talked to him through Knapp, calling him a rogue minister. Willard's next entry was dated January 10, 1672, when the girl admitted that the devil had completely taken over her body. She had been quiet since January 15th, and Williard decided to leave the matter to the more learned, aged, and judicious. Whatever happened to the servant girl has remained a mystery to this day.
Number 2. Emma Schmidt. The horrifying and evil exorcism of Emma Schmidt. The world's most widely documented demonic possession, that landed in the 1936 issue of Time magazine, is that of Emma Schmidt, also known by her pseudonym Anna Eklund. Schmidt was an American woman born March 23, 1882, in Switzerland, and raised in a Catholic household in Marathon, Wisconsin. When she turned 14, she began taking to unspeakable sexual acts and speech, and became averse to everything blessed or religious, including churches. In 1935, it was revealed that her Aunt Mina, a purported witch and lover of her father, Jacob, had cast a spell on her through the food she prepared for the young girl. At the age of 30, Schmidt was exorcised for the first time by a Capuchin priest named Father Theophilus Reisinger. The same priest took 2 more attempts before the demons were finally cast out on December 23, 1912, at a Franciscan sisters' convent in Ulling. Schmidt herself identified the demons that possessed her: Beelzebub, Judas, Mina, and her father, Jacob. It is said that Jacob cursed his own daughter for refusing to have an incestuous affair with him. Schmidt managed to live a relatively normal life after that and died peacefully at the age of 59.
Number 1. Ronald Hhunkler. The Exorcist has been terrifying moviegoers since 1973, and largely because it is based on true events. In the late 1940s, Ronald Hhunkler, a 13-year-old boy mourning his spiritist aunt's death, started having strange encounters with the unknown. He would hear scratching sounds on the walls of his room, and water dripping down pipes and walls. When his bed moved on its own, his parents sought the help of a local Jesuit priest, Father E. Albert Hughes. The priest performed an exorcism on the boy in February 1949, but unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. Soon, scratches started showing on Ronald's body, and his screams became louder than ever. The last straw came when he urinated all over his bed and started cursing at his 2 new attending Jesuits. His parents decided to bring him to the Alexian Brothers Hospital in St. Louis for more serious treatment. On April 8, Monday after Easter, the attending priests covered the boy in holy relics, medals, and other blessed objects, and he slowly returned from his trance, proclaiming, "He's gone," referring to Satan.